Hey, science students. So today we are going to review what is in a system. So we're thinking more so when we ask to model a system, what does that entail? Okay. And so I just want to quickly review with you all what a system is. And a system is a set of interacting parts. You should have this definition written in your vocabulary map as well as your guided notes from earlier in this lesson. But we also want to include components within our system. And components are just parts of that larger whole. So we have the whole system, and then what are the individual parts or pieces, okay, of that system. So for this lesson, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and you are going to grab your packet that has 2 sheets of paper, front to back, of our 3 systems we're going to go over today, and you're going to record how you think about that system and what components are in that system. Then later on in the lesson, you're going to take your answers, you're going to click on the link in your guided notes, and that's going to take you to another slideshow with the answers. And I want you to get a different colored pen or pencil and make those corrections, okay? So the one we're going to do together today is the marble run. So this is a marble run, as you can see in the video here. I also have it as your first page so that you can follow along with me. And then I want you to try the next 2 on your own. So your paper is going to look something like this. You're going to have your thinking systems. So we're going to have this box that represents our system within this. We're going to put components in boxes. So you're going to actually box around the name of your component piece. And we want to show relationship between component parts using arrows. Okay. And the final step is we're going to write the relationship between each component. Okay. So first, I want you to take your paper and a pencil, and I'm going to tell you the components I see in this system. So viewing it from the side and from the top, you can see that we have a spiral, which I put in the center, and I kind of put the components where they are from like a side view, okay? I have the blue tower in the top left corner. Below the spiral, the marbles drop into what we call a switch box, so I put switch. And then we have either bowl 1 it goes into, or it will exit to bowl 2. So these are my components. I want you to pause this video and write your components down. Next, I'm going to draw arrows between the boxes to show not only the relationship, but think of like the direction that the parts are moving, or in our case, the direction of energy that's being transferred. So when you drop a marble in this marble tower, they first drop it in the blue tower at the very top left. So that's going to be where our first arrow starts. It's going to point down to the spiral. And I'm actually going to kind of move this. There we go. Like that. You then run through the spiral, you drop into the switch, and from the switch, you're either going to go to bowl 1 or bowl 2. After you draw the arrows, you want to write down the relationship, okay? So for this case, it's very simple. We have marbles that are transferring from the blue tower to the spiral. So I'm going to label marbles all the way through. So marbles are going to be labeled at each arrow. I also want to indicate some additional things. So from the switch box, we want to indicate that the marbles sort of sort. Sounds weird, sort of sort. But they sort between the 2 at the switch. So I'm actually going to copy and paste this word also onto this side. So they are sorting themselves however way they do so, okay, right here at this part. What I also could add, in addition to this, if I wanted to, is also talk about the types of energy. So I could also add that there's energy because we see movement through the marbles, and I could add a box. I'll just copy and paste one, and I could type in energy and have that repeating, okay, at each box. Sorry, excuse me, at each arrow. Now, later on in this unit, we're going to talk about the types of energy. So you'll start adding that within your system models. But what I want you to start thinking about before we move on to what type of energy goes in and out, we need to understand that systems have a set of parts, aka these components, that all work together, and we have the system. We will start talking about if it's opened or closed later on, but not for now. I just want your focus to be on what type of system is, sorry, I want you to focus on the components of your system, and that is it, and labeling the relationship. Now it's your turn to try. You have 2 more to try on the next 2 sheets of your paper. And they're going to look just like this. Your first one you're going to try is going to be a set of gears that you turn and they rotate. I want you to watch the video. I want you to write down all the parts you see. And also take note when you get to the answer slides later on. I want you to take note if you may have labeled something slightly different, or maybe you have a slightly different term for what you call some of these parts. And I want you to know that that can be okay at times. So please don't get hung up on what something's called. I want you to do your best to name what that part is, and we're going to go with it. Finally, you're going to have a different type of system where you probably have seen this in 7th grade science, so last year. And I want you to think about when you had to work with food webs in 7th grade science during life science and how this system works. So we're talking about food. Where is the food starting? Where is it going? And where does it end? Okay. When you are done with this, please, once again, get a separate colored pen and you will click on the link on your guided notes to correct any answers. And good luck!